Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mr. VP. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Today what we have in our hands is the 12-inch Godzilla from the King of the Monsters movie made by JAKKS Pacific. Now this figure I believe is going to be their flagship figure. It's the one that I see the most of in the Walmart stores that I got this from. It's a beautiful looking figure, and it is basically a retool of the 2014 Godzilla that JAKKS did, but it's been improved. So it's got the new spikes, it's got a little slightly different paint apps, and also the feet have been improved. So this thing looks really nice. It's not too big, so I feel like a lot more people are gonna find it more practical than the big fig. But let's talk about the packaging real quick. So I do really like this packaging. This is the standard 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters packaging. I like it a lot better than the 2014 yellow and red and orange packaging. This just looks so much cooler. Front of the box, you've got the Monarch logo there, or the Monsterverse logo. I really like seeing that everywhere. It's really cool. Bottom right corner, you have the JAKKS Pacific logo, and then you have the big Godzilla King of the Monsters logo right front and center on the box, and then this is Godzilla underneath that. Very nice. Top of the box, it shows that it is over 20 inches long, which is 51 centimeters. D-long. Bottom of the box, just some boring information about licensing and don't eat small parts. Side of the box, another shot of the logo and the Monarch logo up there. And just the movie logo and Godzilla's name on this side. Back of the box has a little bit more information. Shows a nice little action shot there, and then has a little description of Godzilla in there, which you guys can pause the video if you'd like to read it. So yeah, let's get it unboxed. Alright, so the first thing we need to slice open this bottom. Okay, and we'll pull this tab out, these forward, these little ties. That should slide out. Let's see the box, let's see the top. Okay. Get the sides. I'll take them back. Is that good? Yes. Alright guys, so fresh out of the packaging, you can see here that Godzilla comes as one assembly, and then his tail comes in two segments, so we'll go ahead and attach those now. So first we'll do the back segment of the tail. Alright, sorry about that. And then we'll put the whole tail assembly into the body. Aha, there we go. Very nice. Alright guys, so taking a look at Godzilla completely assembled and out of the packaging. My first impression is the paint looks really good, the spikes look awesome, and the toes look much better on this figure than the 2014 one, the larger one. So it's definitely a must-have for me. This was about $20 from Walmart, so it's a great price. There are a couple shortcomings, namely that since they did reuse the mold from the 2014 Godzilla, we still have the bullet holes or screw holes on the right side of the figure, which are very clear as day. They're not as noticeable on the 2014 big figure because of the paint job. So that figure has a duller finish. So this figure, because it's so glossy, your eyes are immediately drawn to those screw holes. Now, that's not a big deal to me. I'm probably going to display this figure like this, so I'll never even see those. But it is worth noting if you are a collector and you're going to be, trying to do other poses or anything like that, you're going to be limited unless you fill in those screw holes. So that's one of them. The other downfall is the jaw. So there is no articulation here. There is no opening jaw. Not sure why they didn't put one there, because that is how the mold was on the big figure. So yeah, I feel like that's definitely something that they should have done. Other than that, great figure, awesome looking. The tail is nice and long, and the end segment is a slightly softer vinyl. The rest of the body, except for the spines, it's a harder plastic. The spines themselves are like the tail, they're a softer, almost like rubbery, like vinyl. As far as articulation goes, we're going to start in the back at the tail. So at this segment here, you can rotate this all the way around. This next segment, same thing. You can also rotate that. Moving upwards, you have the legs, which you can move like so. So you can definitely make some walking motions there. Moving up to the arms, you have that much articulation there. And at the feet, it's definitely a separate joint here, but it seems like they are definitely glued, so you can't move those. That's different from the big figure as well, because you can definitely move those. Moving up back to the arms and the hands, there is no articulation at the hands or fingers or anything like that. And again, same thing, those hands are glued in place. Yeah. So they're definitely not made to move. And again, as I mentioned, there's no articulation at the jaw. The head is a different sculpt from here, like the top part of the jaw and the back of the head. It looks like it wants to move, but I feel like that's the same thing. If I keep prying on it, it's probably just gonna pop off. So I won't do that too much more. Now, paint apps on the figure, they look gorgeous. I'm not really a big fan of the glossy look. However, the slight hints of light gray on the belly and the neck here, I feel like that looks really cool. It definitely, I feel like, looks more movie accurate than the yellow belly on some of the 2014 figures, so I'm really happy to see that. This is definitely a good candidate for repaints, and I'm probably going to be repainting at least one of these figures. The lack of detail on the spines kind of draws my eye right in. Again, not a big deal, but they are a different texture altogether from the rest of the body, and there is no paint on them whatsoever. I feel like they're just injection molded with this particular color, which is a really nice color, very fitting for the figure, but there's no outlines, there's no white or blue or anything like that, and I feel like that would really clean this figure up really nicely. So yeah, that's it for the figure itself. Very nice, and it does stand just around a foot tall. We'll do some comparisons in a second to just show you how that measures up. Just under a foot there. Okay, so first up for comparisons, we'll show it versus the 2019 NECA Godzilla. Now, obviously there's no comparison in quality here, but you have to remember that this figure actually costs more than this figure. So at $25 for a 6-inch figure, you're getting incredible quality, great paint apps, and you can even see the texture in the spines like I was talking about. Like if they had just added a little bit more paint to these, I feel like it would have popped a lot better. But overall, still an awesome figure, not knocking it at all for its price range. It's a really good deal. Just wanted to show it versus this figure. Next up, we'll do Bandai Japan's version of Godzilla 2019. Now this figure actually cost me more than both of these other figures, but I had to import it from Japan, so that's why. I think normally this would retail for about $20, so right in line with the big figure here. And just a different approach on the figure. This is obviously when Godzilla's about to light up the sky or just blast some atomic rays, so that's why they've got the blue all over the spines. And you can see that there is pretty much no paint on this figure, so at least they went ahead and painted the JAKKS specific figure, because this looks way too plain and boring. And next up, I will show it with the larger NECA figure from Godzilla 2014. Now these guys are almost the identical height here. And again, because of the NECA price range, there's just no comparison. This is a much better figure overall. I do hope that NECA goes ahead and remakes this figure into the 2019 version, because you can clearly see the spikes. The spikes are much larger on this figure as they are in the movie, and that looks awesome. I feel like they've always been too small in the 2014 version, so I do hope NECA makes one of those, but I believe when I bought this figure originally several years ago that this cost about $60. I could be wrong, it's been a long time. So for a third of the price, I would say you're dead on accurate as far as quality goes. So this is definitely a really nice figure. If you had to pay 3 times as much for it, I'd say there'd be a problem, but it's good for what it is. Absolutely great figure. So just wanted to show those together. Okay, and lastly, I have them tucked away here in my display in my YouTube room here, but I just wanted to show him with the big figure from 2014, just to show a size difference, and there's clearly a huge size difference. This Godzilla doesn't even come to the top of Godzilla's leg on that big figure, so if you were concerned about the size of the big figure and wanted something a little bit smaller for your collection, this is definitely a reasonable figure to have. So just wanted to show that with the big one. Alright guys, well in conclusion, I would definitely like to say that this is a great figure, well executed, very good usage of the mold. I do like the new additions to it, including the spines, the toes, and the paint. I do wish that there was articulation at the jaw and some more paint or more texture on the spines, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I will probably be repainting 1 or 2 of these in a couple different movie versions, and I'm not going to spoil it if you guys haven't seen the movie, which by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, it's out right now. Go see it like 100 times because that's what I plan on doing. It is awesome. I loved it. If you're a Godzilla fan, you're going to love the movie. But yeah, I'm going to paint it probably with the blue on the spines, or maybe just some white or some texture in there just to make it a little bit more movie accurate, and then I'm going to do another version which I will not discuss. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today guys. I do have several other JAKKS specific figures that I will be reviewing for this movie, so please stay subscribed. Thank you for watching, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye.